You wake up, but you don't know if it's morning. No sun, no clock, no sound from outside. Just a single dim bulb and your own breathing. This isn't a nightmare. It's an experiment a man actually volunteered for. And what happened to his mind is happening to yours too, just slower. Somewhere in your brain, there's a clock, not a metaphor. Real cells, ticking away, telling your whole body when to wake up, when to digest, when to feel tired. That clock gets corrected every single morning by sunlight. You've never noticed it happening. That's the point. In 1962, a French scientist named Michel Siffre wanted to know what would happen if the sun disappeared completely. So he climbed into a cave, alone. No clock, no calendar, no light except what he brought with him. And he stayed there for 2 months. At first, nothing seemed wrong. He ate, he slept, he worked. But his days stopped being 24 hours long. Without sunlight to reset it, his internal clock drifted to 25, 26 hours. In later experiments, some of his cycles stretched close to 48. His body was still keeping time. It just wasn't keeping our time anymore. Day and night had stopped meaning anything. And here's the part that should unsettle you. The more exhausted he got, the brighter he made his own lights, trying to force himself awake. Every time he did that, he pushed his clock even further off course. He was sabotaging himself, and he had no way of knowing it. When his team finally came down to end the experiment, Siffre thought they were early. His handwritten journal counted only 35 days. T had actually been 2 months. He'd lost nearly 4 weeks of his own life. Not to illness, not to sleep, just to the absence of sunlight, quietly erasing his sense of time. If it happened to a trained scientist, tracking every single day on paper, what is it doing to you every day you spend indoors, without ever checking? And it turns out, this isn't just a cave thing. There are entire teams of people living through this every single year, on purpose. And what happens to their minds is even stranger. Every year, small teams of researchers travel to Antarctica and stay through the winter, months of total darkness, with no way in or out. Doctors have a name for what happens to them: winter over syndrome. Some develop a blank, glassy stare, nicknamed the long eye. Physically present, mentally, somewhere else entirely. Depression, insomnia, memory problems, all from a place with no sunlight to anchor the mind. Irritability that turns into open hostility toward the very people you're trapped with. And this isn't rare. At isolated stations, sleep and mood disorders make up 60% of all medical diagnoses. Not frostbite, not injury, the dark itself. Some researchers even suspect it disrupts the thyroid, meaning the fog in your head might be your own hormones turning on you. Here's what should really bother you. Modern Antarctic stations are comfortable, heated, well-stocked, and crews still go through it. Even in these safer, modern bases, people mentally detach during the darkest months. A coping mechanism triggered by the dark, not the cold. The problem was never really the ice. It was always the missing sun. And it doesn't stop at mood. Some researchers believe the damage reaches the thyroid itself. In 2007, disrupted light exposure, the kind shift workers deal with, was officially classified as a probable cause of cancer. Not a rumor, a formal classification. It's even been linked to problems in your gut, tied to conditions like IBS. Your mood, your memory, your hormones, your gut, all quietly wired to something as simple as whether you saw the sun today. You're not in a cave. You're not in Antarctica. But how many hours of real sunlight did you get yesterday? Your body is still down there, counting days on its own private calendar, with no idea whether you're feeding it the light it needs or slowly letting it DR. If this made you think twice about your blinds, subscribe. Because next time, we're going somewhere even darker. If one dim room at a time.